all, welcome back to Pabbly Connect. So in this video, we're going to understand how to send and get WhatsApp message on Google Forms submission using AiSensy. So do you also wish to send and get a WhatsApp message in minutes? Then this video is definitely for you. So here I want the same. So I manage a tech company and we regularly conduct webinars. So now in order to reduce the no-shows of my webinars, what we do is, first of all, we use Google Forms to collect the registrations of our webinars. And now what I want is that as soon as a new form is submitted in my Google Forms, which is as soon as we receive a new registration for a webinar, I automatically want to send an automated WhatsApp message to my registrant. And also I want to notify my team on WhatsApp about the new registration received so that my team can follow up quickly and efficiently. So to do this, we are going to create a connection between Google Forms and AiSensy. To create this connection without knowing any programming or coding language, we are going to use Pabbly Connect. It is an amazing automation software. So do you also wish to learn this process step by step? Then let me take you to my computer screen.
Welcome to my screen. So as you know, in this video we're going to understand how to send and get WhatsApp message on Google Form submission using AiSensy. So as you know that I manage a tech company and we regularly host webinars and we use Google Forms to manage our attendee registrations. So to enhance our communication flow, I want to set up an automation that sends a personalized WhatsApp message to each registrant as soon as they sign up. This message confirms their registrations and shares the essential details of the event. Simultaneously, AiSensy notifies our team via WhatsApp with the registration information, enabling us to track the signups in real time and prepare for the follow-up. This system helps us to streamline event management, increase attendee engagement, and deliver a seamless experience for our participants. But as you know that Google Form doesn't provide any setup with WhatsApp directly for dual communication. Okay, so in order to create this setup, we're going to use Pabbly Connect. So with here I've already opened the landing page of Pabbly simply by searching pabbly.com/connect in my browser. It is very easy. So as soon as we're going to open the landing page of Pabbly, we're going to get two options. One is sign in and the other one is sign up for free. So if you're a new user, you can click on sign up for free and you're going to get 100 of stars free every month. But I'm an existing user, so I'm going to click on sign in right over here. And as soon as I'm going to click on sign in, it is opening all Pabbly apps. Over here you can see all the tools and applications offered by Pabbly. But in today's video, we're going to use Pabbly Connect because we are connecting different applications. So I'm going to click on access now right over here to access my Pabbly Connect account. And as soon as I'm going to click on access now, it is opening my dashboard. And to start with this automation, we're going to click on this button which says create workflow. And now it is asking me the workflow name and the folder I want to save the workflow in. So with here, I want to save the workflow in this folder which is automations, and I want to name my workflow as send and get WhatsApp message on Google Forms submission using AiSensy Google Forms to WhatsApp. So as you can see that on my dashboard, I've already created multiple folders and I've selected the same folder only right over here. So now after doing all of this, we're going to click on create, and as soon as we're going to click on create, it is opening the most important window of our automation, which is our workflow window. So this is the most important window because we have trigger and action in this. Trigger means when this happens and action means do this. So yes, by this you can understand that the trigger is the commander for the workflow and actions follow the commands. And as you know that we can have only a single commander but multiple followers. So here we can have only a single trigger but multiple actions following the commands of our trigger. And by this you can finally understand that the actions are response towards the commands given by our trigger. And in order to start with our automation, we have to select our trigger application, right? So for my trigger application, I'm going to select it as Google Forms because I want that as soon as a new registration is made from my Google Forms, automatically my workflow should be triggered. So I'm going to search for Google Forms, and as you can see the same, so you're going to select it. And as soon as I'm going to select the trigger application, it is asking me for the trigger event. So basically trigger event is the event on which the workflow will start. So over here what I want is that as soon as a new response is received, my workflow should be triggered or started. So I selected the same as my trigger event, and as soon as I'm going to select the trigger event, it has given me a Webhook URL and few steps. So what we're going to do is, in order to connect our Google Forms account with our Pabbly's workflow, first we have to copy this Webhook URL and then we're going to follow these steps. So I'm going to open my Google Forms account, and as you can see that this is the form which I have created for this event. Okay, so I want to create this automation for this form only right now. So I've opened the same form, and after opening this form we have to go on this responses, and as I was going to go on this responses, you can see that I'm going to get the option of view in sheets because I've already linked this Google Forms with my spreadsheet. If you haven't linked your Google Forms with the spreadsheet, you're going to get the option of link with sheets right over here, and as I was going to click on that, you can click on link with sheets, and I'm going to click on view in sheets right over here. Yes, you can see that it has already opened my spreadsheet which is linked with my Google Forms. Okay, and as you can see, one response which is already submitted. And now after opening this spreadsheet, what we have to do is we have to go on extensions, then add-ons, and as you can see, get add-ons. So we have to go on this so that we can add an extension right over here. So I'm going to go on this, and now we're going to look for search apps, and then we're going to look for Pabbly Connect Webhooks in the search app. So I'm going to look for it, and as you can see, the same, so we're going to select it, and as you can see, Pabbly Connect Webhooks. So as you can see that I've already installed this extension, right? That's why it is giving me the option of uninstall. But if you haven't installed this, you're going to get the option of install right from here only. So you have to install this extension right from here first, and after installing, you have to refresh this spreadsheet. So it is a really important step to refresh the spreadsheet, because now when we're going to go on extensions, you can see Pabbly Connect Webhooks appeared right over here, and as soon as this is going to appear, we are going to go on initial setup right from here, and as soon as we're going to click on initial setup, over here it is asking me to select the sheet, webhook URL, and the trigger column. So as you can see that I've selected the sheet which is form response 1. For the webhook URL, we're going to paste the URL which we copied from our workflow, and now it is asking me for the trigger column. So it is saying the trigger column will be your final data column, on which if the data is added, the whole of that row would be sent to the webhook URL. So I'm going to enter my trigger column as I, because this is my final data column. You can enter this as per your needs. So now after entering this, we're going to click on submit, and as soon as we're going to click on submit, yes, you can see setup configured successfully. So with this, we have successfully configured this. This means that we have successfully created a connection between Google Forms and our Pabbly's workflow. But now as you can see that it is saying waiting for a webhook response, and in the notes it is saying do a test submission / record. So what we have to do is we have to submit a response in our Google Forms, which is we have to make a registration with the help of Google Forms so that we can receive the response for the same right over here. But before making this, what we're going to do is I'm going to open my spreadsheet again. I'm going to go on extensions, Pabbly Connect Webhooks, and as you can see, the button of send on event. So what we have to do is first we have to switch on this button which says send on event, because if you don't switch on this button, the data would not be sent. So yes, now after switching on this button, what will happen is that as soon as a new event is occurred on my spreadsheet, automatically the data would be sent to my workflow. So yes, after switching on this, we're going to open our form, and we're going to click on this preview form so that we can submit a test response. Okay, so now it is asking me for the name. So for the name, I'm going to keep it as demo user, so I'm going to enter it right over here. It is asking me for the email, so for the email, I'm going to keep it as demo user@pabblytudes.com. We're going to move on forward. And as you can see that now it is asking me for the phone number. So I want the phone number to be this. So I'm going to enter it. It is asking me for the organization. So I'm going to keep it as Pabbly Con right over here. So I'm going to enter it. It is asking me for the dietary restrictions. We're going to keep it as vegan. It is saying what specific areas of automation are you most curious about. So let's suppose that I'm going to select it as marketing automation. It is saying how did you hear about this webinar. So I'm going to select it as email newsletter. We are going to move on forward. It is saying current automation experience. So I'm going to keep it as none right over here, and after entering all of these details, we're going to click on submit, and as soon as we're going to click on submit, yes, you can see that we have successfully submitted this form. And now what has happened is that Google Forms has sent the details of our test submission to our workflow. So I'm going to open my workflow and check that if Pabbly has captured the response for the same or not. So I'm going to open my workflow, and yes, you can see that Pabbly has captured the response for the same. You can see the specific area of automation you are most curious about response. Over here you can see all the same details which we entered, right? I'm going to show you. You can see the phone number, the organization, the name. Over here you can see how did you hear about this webinar. You can see the email, the dietary restrictions, and the current automation experience. So now after receiving all of these details, we have successfully completed our trigger step. And now as soon as a new response is received from my Google Forms, automatically Pabbly is going to capture that same response right over here in our workflow too. And after capturing this response, we're going to move on towards our action step. So what I want is I want to send an automated automated WhatsApp message to the registrant and also to the team. So we're going to set up this one by one. First, we're going to send it to the registrant. Okay, so I'm going to search for AiSensy right over here because we are going to use AiSensy in order to send automated WhatsApp messages. You can use any another application too. And now it is asking me for the action event. So for the action event, we're going to select it as send template message. Okay, and then we're going to click on connect right over here. And as I was going to click on connect, it is asking me to add a new connection or select the existing connection. So if you have already connected your AiSensy account with the Pabbly's workflow, you can click on select existing connection and then save. But if you haven't, you have to follow me, click on add a new connection. And now it is asking me for the API key. And in order to get this API key, we're going to follow the help text, and it is saying to obtain the API key, log into your AiSensy account, navigate to the manage section, then go to the API key and click on generate API key button. So as we're going to follow the same, I'm going to open my AiSensy account. We're going to go on the left side bar and then manage. And over here, after going on manage, you can see API key. So I have to go on this API key, and as you can see that this is my API key. So I'm going to copy this key right from here. If you wish, you can definitely regenerate this key and then copy this, but I directly want to copy this API key only, and then we're going to paste it right over here in our workflow. And after pasting this, we're going to click on this save button. And as I was going to click on this save, yes, you can see that we have successfully connected our WhatsApp by AiSensy account with our Pabbly's workflow. And after connecting this, it is asking me for the campaign name. So you must be wondering, what is this campaign name, right? So to let you know about this campaign name, I'm going to open my AiSensy account. And as you can see that this is my AiSensy account once again. And now from the left side of the bar, you can see over here is campaigns. So I'm going to go on this campaigns. And as you can see, all the campaigns which I have already created. And over here, you can see the two important campaigns for this automation, which is send message for registrants and get message for team notification. So we're going to use these two campaigns only. And as you can see, over here is the template which I have created for this campaign too. So if you want to create this campaign, what we're going to do is we're going to go on the left side bar and then manage. And from here, you have to create a template message first. And as you can see that I have also created the template message first, which is send message and get message. Okay, so you have to first create the template message, and in order to create this template message, you have to click on this new button and you can create the message right from here. And now after creating the template message, what we have to do is you have to go on the left side bar and then campaigns, and from here we have to click on this launch and then API campaign. And now you have to select the same template which you have created and give your campaign a name and click on set live, and your campaign would be set at live. So as you can see that I've already created the campaign, so I'm going to use this only, which is sent message for registrations. So as you can see that this is my campaign name, so I'm going to copy the campaign name right from here, and then we're going to paste it right over here in our workflow. And after pasting this, it is saying mobile number. So yes, we're going to enter the mobile number of our registrant right over here definitely, but we're not going to enter it manually, but instead we're going to map it. So you must be wondering, what is mapping, right? So mapping is a method by Pabbly which means inserting the data from the previous step. And as you know, our previous step was the trigger step, where we selected Google Forms as our trigger application. So we're going to map the details from the response of our trigger application only. And as soon as we're going to map these details, automatically my details will turn dynamic and change with every new response received. So over here, I'm going to give you an example that it is asking me for the mobile number, right? So let's suppose they're going to enter the mobile number right over here manually by typing it like this. Then this will not change with every new response received because this is the static information and I have entered it manually. But if you're going to map this from the previous response, suppose we're going to look for the phone in the previous response, and as you can see the phone number. So let's suppose we're going to map this from the previous response, then this will definitely change because my previous response will also change with every new registration, right? So that's why we do mapping right over here to run our workflow in real time. Same, we are going to map all of these details. It is asking me for the username, so it is saying enter the name of the user to whom the campaign has to be sent. So over here I'm going to map the name of my registrant, so I'm going to look for name, and as you can see demo user, so we're going to map it. We're going to move on forward. It is asking me for the source and tags, not a required field, so we can leave it as blank. And now it is asking me for the template parameter. So again, you must be wondering, what is this? For this, I'm going to open my AiSensy account, and as you can see that this is my template. Okay, but you must notice that there's one in curly brackets right over here. So you must be wondering why this one is in curly brackets. So basically what happens is that I've kept this one as a variable because I want that this one should be replaced with the name of my registrant every time we send a an automated WhatsApp message. And as you can see, something like this. So this one should be replaced with the name of my registrant. So that's why I've kept this one as a variable. And now what we're going to do is we are going to map this value of 1 right over here in our workflow. So we're going to map the value, which is the name, right? So I'm going to look for name in the previous response again. And as you can see, names, we're going to map it. And after mapping this, we're going to move on forward. But before moving on forward, I'll again let you know that over here I've kept only single variable, okay? But if you have multiple variables or multiple parameters, then you have to enter the value in comma separated tags. It is saying the parameter value should be comma separated, okay? So I have to keep this in mind. We're going to move on forward. It is asking me for many another details. So if you wish to add a file, you can add it also right over here. But I don't wish to add all of these, so directly I'm going to click on save and send test request. But before clicking on save and send test request, I'll just replace this dummy phone number with my original phone number so that I can show you the message received, right? So just I'm going to replace it right over here. And after replacing this, we're going to move on forward and click on save and send test request. And as soon as you're going to click on save and send test request, yes, you can see that we have successfully received a positive response, that we have successfully sent an automated WhatsApp message to our registrant. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my WhatsApp and check for the message sent. So yes, you can see that we have successfully sent an automated WhatsApp message to our registrant which says, awesome news, demo user, you're all set for the power of automation event. You can see the date, you can see the time, and over here you can see the rest of the details. So yes, on sending this WhatsApp message, we have successfully completed our this action step. And now what we want is, I want to send a message to my team too, right? So for that, we're going to add another action step right over here. And now for my action application, again, we are going to select it as AiSensy. So I'm going to look for it, and as you can see the same. So again, we're going to do the same for the action event. Again, we're going to select send template message and click on connect. So yes, recently we connected our WhatsApp by AiSensy. So directly I'm going to click on select existing connection and then save. And as I was going to do so, again, it is asking me for the campaign name. So I'm going to open my AiSensy once again. And as you can see that this time we are going to use this campaign, which is get message for team notification. So I'm going to copy it right from here, and then we're going to paste it right over here in the campaign name section. And now after pasting this, it is asking me for the mobile number. So this time we're not going to map the mobile number, but instead we are going to enter it manually because I don't want this mobile number to change, right? Every time the mobile number of my team will remain static only. So that's why I've entered it manually right over here. And then we're going to move on forward. It is asking me for the username. So here for the username, I'm going to keep it as team. We are going to move on forward. It is asking for the source and tag. So again, now the required field, it is saying template parameter. So yes, now I'm going to open my template again. And as you can see that over here, we have added 6 variables. So we have to map all of these values right over here in our workflow. So I'm going to map it one by one. So over here, we are going to map the name, email, and phone number first. So I'm going to map the name. I'm going to look for name in the previous response. You can see demo user. We're going to map it. We're going to put a comma, okay, because the values should be comma separated, correct? We're going to map the email. I'm going to look for email, and as you can see the emails, we're going to map it. We're going to put a comma. We're going to map the phone number right over here. As you can see the same, so we're going to map it. And then we're going to map the organization. So I'm going to put a comma right over here, and then we're going to look for organization in the previous response. As you can see the Pabbly Con, we are going to map it. We're going to move on forward. As you can see, the next is dietary restrictions and the interest areas. So we're going to map these two. I'm going to look for dietary restrictions right over here, and as you can see vegans, we're going to map it, put a comma, and then we're going to map also the interest. So I'm going to look for interest right over here, which is curious about, and as you can see marketing automations, we're going to map it. And after mapping all the template parameters, we're going to move on forward and click on save and send test request. And as soon as we're going to click on save and send test request, you can see success true. We have successfully received another positive response, that we have successfully sent an automated WhatsApp message to our team too. So now I'm going to open my WhatsApp and check for the message sent. And yes, you can see another message to the team. It is saying new registration for, and as you can see the name, email, phone, organization, dietary restrictions, and the interest area which we entered. So yes, with this we have successfully completed our workflow. And in order to avoid any confusion, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the 3 dots, and then we're going to go on this rename, and we are going to keep it as send template message to registrant right over here. And we are going to click on update right over here so that we can avoid the confusion. Again, I'm going to go on this 3 dots, rename, send template message to team. So I'm going to enter it right over here. And now after entering this, again, we're going to click on update. And as soon as we're going to click on update, yes, with this, we have successfully completed our workflow and we have successfully sent the messages too. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a test submission and check that if this workflow is running in real time or not. So I'm going to open my Google Forms again. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do another test submission with the new details to check our workflow is running in real time or not. So it is saying name, so I'm going to keep the name as test user right over here. It is saying email, so we're going to keep it as test@pabblytudes.com. So I'm going to keep it as same only, and then we're going to move on forward towards the phone number. And now for the phone number, I want it to be this, and now after entering this, we're going to move on towards the organization. For the organization, I'm going to keep it as Pabbly Tudes, so I'm going to enter it right over here. We're going to move on forward. It is saying dietary restriction, so I'm going to keep it as vegetarian. We're going to move on forward. It is saying specific areas. I'm going to keep it as social media automation, and over here it is saying how did you hear about. So for this, we're going to keep it as website and then click on submit. And as I was going to click on submit, yes, with this we have successfully submitted this. And with this, what has happened is that Google Forms has sent the details of our test submission to our workflow. Pabbly captured the response, triggered the workflow, and further sent an automated WhatsApp message to the registrant and also to the team. So I'm going to open my WhatsApp and check for the messages sent, and this time we are not going back to our workflow and clicking on even send test request. Okay, directly I'm going to open my WhatsApp, and yes, you can see that we have received 2 WhatsApp messages. It says awesome news test user, and over here this is the message sent to the registrant and this is the message sent to my team. So as you can see, all the details are same, only the details which we mapped has changed right over here. So yes, now after receiving these responses, we have successfully completed our workflow and we have also tested this workflow in real time. So now I'll just summarize this workflow for you once. So for the trigger application, we selected Google Forms. For the trigger event, we selected new response received. For the action application, we selected WhatsApp by AiSensy because I wanted that as soon as the new response is received, which is as soon as a new registration is made with the help of Google Forms, I wanted to send a template message to the registrant and also send a message to my team informing them about the new registration received. And yes, we were successful with our workflow too. Over here you can see the WhatsApp messages I sent during this video with the help of my workflow. So yes, this message confirms their registration and shares them the essential details of the events. Simultaneously, AiSensy notifies our team also on WhatsApp with the registration information, enabling us to track the signups in real time and prepare for follow-ups. So this system helps me to streamline event management, increase attendee engagement, and deliver a seamless experience for our participant, ultimately reducing the no-shows. So yes, this was it for the video, and if you have any questions related to the video or the workflow, you can directly comment on this video, and for your reference, I'll just clone this workflow and share the workflow link in the description box so that you can access my workflow. I hope this video was helpful for you. Thank you for watching.
So not only these applications, but with the help of Pabbly Connect, you can integrate many more applications. So if you have any doubts, you can reach us at support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can reach us at forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issues, you can follow this website. And if you find our videos helpful, do like and subscribe our channel. Thank you for watching.